Welcome back to the Four of Wands podcast. Woo woo.
Hello. Yes, we're back after a little break.
It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute for me. It's been a couple of hot minutes for you.
Yeah, definitely. It's been just one of those things.
There's something in the walls. Calls coming from inside the house.
Confirmation that we should be starting back up with this podcast, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, for those that are listening through your cars, there was a bug that flew at the wall. And we're back.
Mm-hmm.
So, why don't you take us through the last few weeks and kind of...
No, how about I ask you, what have you been up to?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
so what
that
have you
was
been
the
up
same
to?
thing. I've been with you through everything that you've been going through over the last few weeks.
So how's that been for you? This bug.
Yeah, it's going to distract me the whole freaking time.
It's coming at me. What are you?
I don't know.
It got hit by the fan.
It's going to come for me next. I could feel it. I don't like this.
Hi, Loki.
Outtakes.
It keeps going into the fan and getting yeeted.
Right? How silly
Well,
can
there
you
it is.
be?
It's a Christmas beetle. They are dumb motherfuckers. I'm not surprised.
Right? Well, can you sort that out? Because I ain't going to sit back there until it's gone.
All right. Hold this.
All right. Sorry for the current. This is all going on the podcast, by the way.
Oh, it's just going to chill. If it starts flying again, I wasn't expecting it to like voluntarily unalive. It just jumped. It was
You
like,
stay there.
Forgive me, Father, I have sinned.
You stay put. I don't trust it. But anyways.
It's fine. I'll get it if I have to, but...
Yep. I'm sure that there'll be many things said about that.
I really wasn't expecting it to like... At least with other bugs, they're predictable, but Christmas beetles are like unpredictable as fuck. They're like, we'll start coming at the start of spring. Nah, we're going to be here midsummer. And then they'll just be the dumbest motherfucking beetles ever.
In existence.
They're like bush turkeys. They just walk into danger. They see a dangerous situation and they're like, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to go back to that. Like, what's up with flying into the fan blades like 4 or 5 times?
I don't know.
Getting hit because the fan's on and getting hit with the rotation of the blades. Like,
well, clearly it missed the flame because that's what it was headed for. But I don't know whether it's a dumb motherfucker or a lucky motherfucker because it didn't hit any of the open flames in here right now.
Right, but anyway, that marks the season to be jolly.
If that's what you want to call it.
'Tis the season. Oh my goodness. But yes, as we were, where were we? How
you were asking me how
have you been?
I've been there in it with you for the last few weeks.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It feels like it's been a blur, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I reflected, I'm like, wow, was that last month? That feels like it was years ago.
I've aged 24 years.
Fucking oath I have. More grey hairs.
Yep.
Fresh wrinkles. It's decided to come back. I can hear you buzzing.
It has. It's over here, and I don't like it. I'm out. Please hold for this short commercial break as we tend to the Christmas beetle that is.
Look, bro, you're causing issues.
You gotta go. That's all that there is to it.
Your distraction
Is not welcome. It's on the edge of the paper. It held on until you got rid of it, at least.
Well, it's got problem solved.
Thanks.
It's just that, I don't know, they click. Most bugs don't click.
Yeah, I don't do flying bugs. Full stop. So, anyways, that's the end of that chapter. Thank you for sticking with us for the last 5 minutes while we had the drama of a Christmas beetle. Now we can get back into it again.
Goodness.
So, sorry for Yuri screaming, but that's going to be hilarious as a highlight reel.
Oh my goodness.
There's another flying bug, for fuck's sake. Alright, I'm going to have to close that door. I'm going to need a screen for it. That's for sure. That's alright.
Warm.
Hot in this rhino.
It really is hot in this rhino. But yes, it's been a blur. It has been, that Christmas beetle incident is what the last couple of weeks have been. Things flying at me thinking it'll be fine, resurrects from the dead, things flying into the fan. It's fine. This is
cool.
fine.
It's fine. This is fine.
This is part of Pluto entering and exiting Capricorn for the final time. The universe is like, bitch, walk the walk, now fucking talk the talk. Or you talk the talk, now walk the walk. That's the one. However that fucking saying goes.
That's as good as...
or whatever.
That's as good as the one. What did I get this week on the weekly reads? The laying dogs lie, let sleeping dogs lay. I don't know, whatever it is.
That was so funny.
You all know what
lay
it is.
Lay next to ye dog, lest ye be laid.
Jesus.
He's not going to save you.
He's the one who's not resurrected anyhow.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, last few weeks have been a lot, but we're back. We're trying to look. As we left off, you all know that things were going on with myself. We had big moves. We had a lot going on at that time. It was an unexpected break, but obviously with the way that things are now, we're finding our balance again and just trying to adapt into where we can actually film these podcasts in terms of timing around our lives, because obviously we are only human and we have our lives external to the platform that you see. But again, Four of Wands is a very big passion project for us, and we are passionate about continuing on with conversations and things like that.
I think it was a break that, like, not obviously needed to happen, but for obvious reasons, but I think it was one that we also needed to realize that, like, we legitimately need to put times in where we're not going to be filming and be okay with that. I think we needed to learn to be okay with not filming.
By we mean Yuri, because I did suggest this. I did suggest that we do it as a seasonal option. Well, look, the universe ended up speaking, and that was that. So
I heard ya.
Capricorned in Pluto, and now it's gonna...
Look, I'm a workhorse, okay?
Yes, I'm well aware of this.
I'm a workhorse.
Definitely workhorse.
Riding my workie.
Anyway, so that's kind of what's going on. So don't hold us to it. We're gonna do our very best. We're still finding our feet at the minute with the podcasts, finding time to be able to record and to get the content to you as well. So as we said from the very beginning, you guys are coming along for the journey with us. This is part of the journey, and sometimes that's all that we can give as well. So yeah, just
I think the last podcast, did we get to do an update with Bernie's, the market?
What was the last episode that we left off on? Was that you and Kellen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was you and Kellen. But we did touch on the market. We did that as a brief
I can't fucking
thing
remember.
from memory. But if
Anyway,
not,
that was great.
yeah, it was good.
It
You
was
got
so
some
cool.
exposure.
It was so
good.
cool to meet so many different witches and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to be back. Unfortunately, I couldn't line up for the Beatana one, but tis what it is.
That's something we can talk about as well.
What?
I'm not even going to pronounce it because I'll butcher it, so I'm going to leave it to you.
Beatana.
Yeah. So what does it mean to you?
It's a fire festival. So Samhain and Beatana are halfway points between the equinoxes and the solstices, depending on the half of the year that they're in, and where you are in the
World?
Yeah,
Whether
within the world.
southern or northern hemisphere?
Yeah, because it alternates, obviously, but not exactly. Um, so Beatana, I guess, is like traditionally celebrated on the 31st of October in the southern hemisphere, and Samhain is traditionally celebrated on. I think is it March 2nd? I can't remember. Can't remember for the life of me. Whenever I think it's when Easter is, it coincides in that area. I can't fucking remember off the top of my head
You
right
just get
now.
reminders from socials when it's coming close.
No, I've got it written out because it's part of my practice.
Yeah.
I'm not an endless. Well, I am an endless source of knowledge.
You don't remember dates. That's okay.
Yeah, I ain't a dates person.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tradition. It's an Irish pagan festival. Where you will celebrate. So Bealtaina is more catered towards celebrating the harvest. Midway through spring, celebrating the ancestors, people that walked before you that allowed this, and the spirits, the fae, all of it, giving thanks and gratitude. And then Samhain's more towards uh, giving thanks and gratitude through the protection aspects, through the cold winters and all of that type of stuff. Samhain typically marks the start of the new year within Irish paganism. So you would do things that you would typically do on New Year's Eve here. So that would be like upping your protections and then also wishing abundance and shit like that for the coming times. You also got to think of like location of where Ireland is. So if Samhain's between the autumn and the fall, autumn and the winter holidays or equinoxes and solstices, then you kind of have to expect that like it's really going to be fucking cold in winter in Ireland. And food's going to be fucking scarce. That's why a lot of curse workings from ye old Ireland time was based on what the fuck can I steal from other people? Because it was a dog eat dog world. Like you didn't have certain things available to you because it's so fucking cold. And yeah, it's a wild terrain there. It's beautiful, but fucking wild. Um, so what was I talking about? Samhain. So Samhain would be like a blessing for that coming, the harshest coming time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it doesn't really translate as well to anywhere else in the world, I don't think. And it's been heavily misappropriated from within Wiccan communities. Within the Wheel of the Year, it's kind of lost its true meaning. Yes, they are like a time when the veil is thin um, between worlds, but it's also not just that. They're fire festivals, they're feasts. Yeah.
Awesome. So there's a little bit of knowledge for anybody who didn't know and that sort of a thing. Um, I guess too, we can update people as well. Like obviously, like we've talked a lot, but in terms of spirituality, but we kind of have skipped over a lot of about ourselves in terms of a few things as well. So, now we're talking about the wheel of the year and getting to know that part of your practice as well. What else you got on offer? Because there are people that have come across us since we first started this podcast that have no idea or probably have jumped in midway through.
What do you mean have I got on offer?
What do you do?
I'm a
You
witch.
shop?
I'm a sorcerer. Business woman. I'm a business bitch. Business witch. Witch for hire. I got witchy wares and I got witchy stares. I don't know. That was the best I could come up with. Don't hold it to me.
Oh, I'm putting you on the spot today, aren't I?
You fucking are.
Yeah.
You fucking know.
Speaking of, we've got some guests coming up as well in I'm gonna call it season.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can come back and like be like, yep, Wolf was right. It's seasonal kind of thing. But yeah, we're gonna have some more guests again as well throughout the episodes and things like that. More or less for this episode, we kind of just wanted to touch base and kind of jump into a couple of little things that have been going on. But I'm just gonna quickly say as well. Yeah, if you haven't already checked out Yuri's shop, you should probably do that. There's been definitely in the time that we've taken off, there've been some new products added as well. So yeah, make sure you check that out. For those of you who don't know already as well, and I'm gonna plug this one. We have the Apollo Asteri candle that is also now on the website, which is for the upcoming Geminid shower, which will be in December. So if you'd like to purchase that, that will be on Yuri's website as well. It's an awesome candle. It's the intentions are there. It's great. Like currently got one burning by me at the moment. It's also great for scrying into as well because we've added a little spice, and in said spice
it comes with enchantments.
Yeah.
And and it comes with crystals in it as well. The whole idea behind it is that it's like bringing in the hope and the light, I guess, that the Geminids represent, and bringing that within your home, kind of like a wish upon the star type vibe too. But yeah, think of it like just an overall home blessing with, and something that you could make a wish with too.
Yeah. It's kind of a nice way, I feel, as well, to end out the year so that you can apply that, going out of this year, utilize it even for reflection, things like that, so that you can wish upon a star for some new stuff. Bring it in, new chapter of life. So yeah, there's that. So I'm gonna plug that one, and like it was touched by me. But yeah, if you're interested, www.urials.com, not urinals, urials.com. That's where you'll find it. But yeah, so there's been products coming into the shop. Yuri's been going through a lot. And one of the things that we kind of wanted to talk about today was
grief. Was that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No, wrong. You're wrong.
Yeah, so your girl's been going through it. Like, they say when one person, more follows, and that's true.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a moment.
Yeah.
But
they say it comes in threes, but look, I'm telling ya, it's two, and that's it.
Yeah. You reckon?
I'm hoping. So yes, been surrounded by death, which, look, grief is never easy, and it's not something that I'm unfamiliar with. I think what made it harder this time was the deep connection that I had with the second person that passed, and the significant role that they played in shaping me as a person. So, yeah, that was, yeah,
It was a
hard.
lot.
It was a lot.
It was a lot. And it's.
I think having autism as well, like, I'm not saying that everyone's like this, but for me, and like being just neurodivergent in general, like just being that way, um, it's almost like you don't know how you feel, but your body does. And so, like, I would start crying, and then it's almost like my brain has to catch up as to the information that I've received. So my body was reacting before I reacted, and then got slammed. And I think the reason why, in particular, that I really wanted to talk about this is because being spiritual doesn't change the fact that you still grieve. It doesn't change how you grieve, and it doesn't change the motions that you have to go through. It is by no means easier knowing that our meat suit is not the end, that we do whatever you believe in, reincarnate, go to heaven, go to the underworld, whatever you believe in, Rome, return to source, whatever. Mm-hmm. Knowing that is by no means something that makes or gives comfort during that time. Um, yeah, and I think that if you're going through something, or you eventually go through something similar to this or the same thing, it's, I guess, don't put pressure on yourself to do and be anything more than what you're capable of. Um, I, there was a couple of days where I couldn't even leave bed, and that's just is what it is.
It's okay to grieve. It's, I guess, like, even though we talk about a lot of the spiritual aspect of things and whatnot, there is still the huge reality that we are living in the mundane, and we are just humans. We're capable of having those feelings and having to go through it, even when it is uncomfortable. And I guess we wanted to kind of just bring that to light as well, that it doesn't matter where you are on your spiritual journey, you are not above it. And that's okay.
Yeah. No matter where you are in your spiritual journey, you're never going to stop being a human.
Yeah.
Like, your humanness, your mundaneness always comes first.
Yeah.
Always comes first. And that's just something that we have to respect.
Yeah.
Even through the good times, the bad times, and the sad signs. So respect it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's by no means easy. It's, mm-mm. I guess it also brings to light sort of what, it brings to light, but also brings us into kind of what we wanted to also talk about in terms of that video that we both saw. Mm-hmm. Because it's, so many people see that as a weakness, I guess, in the community, or will belittle others for feeling in that way. And that's something that really irks me.
Yeah. So, look, and I think that you are as well, like, because I was grieving, I knew that I had to pull back from like my business a little bit. Like it was, my business is at a point where it's good enough to run itself for a time. And like the podcast had to just go on pause. We've only just recently started doing the weekly readings again.
Again, massive shout out to everybody who stepped up. Thank you.
Like, I had to do that. I had to respect the fact that my spiritual world had to be put on pause. And I don't think that's a weakness for acknowledging that. And I don't think that it's a weakness to pull back when you know you need to. What I think's weak is to continue to push yourself when you know that you need to stop, or give readings when you're not in a space, or do spiritual services when you're not in a space that grants you capabilities to do as such. Yeah, I think that, yeah, we saw a video pretty much where this person was crapping on about how you shouldn't, not everyone's a spiritual practitioner or whatever, and not everyone should be, which really pisses me off because
it was essentially belittling those who,
it was ableist.
Like saying, you know, essentially that if you're not willing to make the sacrifice, if you're not willing to, pretty much, if you're not willing to put yourself in burnout, then you're not good enough to do this. Which was absolutely absurd.
I found it ableist from the point of view of like, I think that everyone has different capabilities, and like I think that there's a difference between not having a clean home because you're genuinely lazy versus not having a clean home because you don't have the spoons, you don't have the support, you don't just genuinely don't have the ability or capability to do that. I think you're a mother, a single mother, a mother that's married or with a partner, like that all factors in. And I don't think that spirit would ever deny you from calling yourself a spiritual practitioner or working with you because you've got something going on in your life that you just can't help, and sometimes certain things suffer. Being spiritual and being a witch has been something that was there for me in some of the darkest times in my life, and not once did I ever think that spirit held judgment towards me for certain things that I was not in control of. I think that that way of thinking is gatekeeping a practice, which is a craft. It's personal to you. It changes and grows with you personally. And not everyone wants to do big, elaborate things. Not everyone wants to do small day-to-day things, but neither one, to say that only the big practitioners are valid is extremely just backwards of what I believe witchcraft is. Witchcraft is queer to me. It's a queer way of thinking, and to bring Christian views into it, that you must be holy and
like there is no holier than thou in the spiritual realms, right? There is none of that. It's where, as somebody who practices and who works with deities, right? You tell me which deity's out here going, I'm better than that deity.
I mean, I'd argue that Loki's probably saying fuck Yahweh.
But that's also because he is.
That's also because fuck Yahweh.
Right? But also, like, they're not out here competing against one another. Like, I myself, even in the way that deities have come forth to me and things like that, they fly by. You know, some will let me know that they're present because of a period of time that I'm going through, and just be by my side and allow me to handle the mundane, and then off they go. And then there's the one that does stick by my side constantly.
Yeah.
So it's like, doesn't matter what I'm going through, and you quote this a lot too. They're not going to leave your side. They'll be there for you when you're ready to come back to it, no matter how much you've got on your plate.
Yeah, exactly.
At any given point in time. So,
to cut a long fucking story short, I found a whole bag of jelly beans up my ass. And it's been 24 hours later, and I ain't seen none yet. No, but yeah, to cut a long story short,
I will be waiting for those in the Discord to turn that into a whole thing.
No, but seriously, to cut a long story short, Spirit is never going to punish you for things that are out of your control, for how you were born, for things that were done to you, or things that you've chosen to do in a period in your life. What I believe Spirit judges you for is what you judge yourself for, with like an asterisk around that. What I mean by that is, like, if you do a curse work and you haven't asked their permission and you feel fucking guilty for that, then they're going to judge you for that. But I don't believe that, for instance, if you were
someone who gives offerings, for example, to land spirits on a daily basis, and you miss one day because
you miss a whole month, a year, even you're going through the ringer, they're not going to cut you off because of that.
Yeah. So just, I guess if anything, just remind yourself of that. I feel like this is kind of a bit of a gentle reminder episode as well. Like, no matter what you're going through and all of that sort of stuff as well.
We're all going through it.
Yeah. And, with the shifts that are about to occur, it's just gonna keep going. So
strap yourself in, feel the G's.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Stop the world, I want to get off. That kind of a vibe. It's just a roller coaster that you can't get off.
Literally. Oh well. As above, so below, and all that shit.
I can't with you. I seriously can't. But yeah, that's like, I guess that's it's just crap. Like, I can't. Like, I've had moments where I'm like, maybe I should just get off the social media and stuff like that, because I just can't with people. I can't with the lack of awareness and the self-righteous. Like, there's a few that have quite inflated egos who
chop and change who their loyalties lie with. It's like, what I believe Spirit judges you for as well is loyalties. If you can't stick to your word, or you say something with your whole ass chest but you're hiding behind something else, I think that you're going to get what's coming to you.
Yeah, whatever that is, because
whether it's in this lifetime or another, you're gonna get resurrected back as a piece of shit. Some would argue that may have already happened.
But yeah, it's just like, and you see it all the time. Like, there's personalities that are online that are clout chasing.
Oh my gosh, if you're always involved with drama, with what time do you have to live, run a successful business, or be successful within your career, or whatever that looks like for you? With what time do you have to be within drama of people that you don't even know? And, like, not to say I believe certain people deserve to be called out for fucking sure, but also What happened to the block button?
Right? So many people are offended by the block button. It's like, look, I've come up across a few. Some may argue that I've found a voice, and there was an instance where somebody was very unfactual and very much one-sided in a certain religious sense, and I challenged that.
Oh, what was that with?
No, that was some other guy. I don't think you were on that particular
Was that
channel at
Bart
that time.
Simpson?
No, not Bart Simpson. That was another one. Special shout out to Bart Simpson. You were POS. Anyways, um, yeah. So I had a run in with another person of religious faith who was arguing facts, supposedly. When asked what religious text they read, they lost all credibility once they mentioned the King James Bible. So, for those of you who don't know, like, that is not the original text.
Mm-mm.
The everything has changed, but that's a whole nother conversation which we will get into in a few episodes time. So I'm just gonna say that I had my run in with this person, and I utilized the block button. I'm like, I don't need to put up with this. I've said my piece. You don't want to listen. Therefore, I'm not going to engage with somebody who just
Chooses to be blindly ignorant.
exactly.
Like, I don't care if you're Christian, just don't expect me to be.
Yeah,
And if you come into occult spaces with guns blazing, expect us to match your energy.
yeah. Like I don't know anyone within the spirituality community who is not willing to have a conversation, an open conversation where both can have opposing views and still walk away respecting that.
Mm-hmm.
It is very, when it's religiously motivated, it is very one sided, and quite often, and I'm not going to say that this is the overall, but quite often, most people don't want to hear it. And that's okay. You do you, boo, but you can't have that judge and juror mentality in a space if you yourself are acting as though you are a judge and juror without allowing people to openly speak.
What's the famous Bible quote? Don't
Um,
judge lest ye be judged.
yeah. So,
Like,
and it's quite often like you'll give them like certain things like I don't know, the flyby Christianity in the online community is ridiculous. It's like, eh,
it's funny.
it is funny, but then when you challenge them and they stick around, it's like,
To me, it's just giving
no, you're
insecurity
wrong.
within your own faith.
Well, how many times have you called out people with quotes from the Bible?
All the time.
Yeah. And to be fair, those quotes from the Bible aren't the original text, so therefore they've lost all their meaning anyway, and it's only good to use against them because
Mm-hmm.
that's all it's good for.
Right?
So, anyways, that was my rant and rave about the block button, and you should use it, and people should not be pissed off if it's used. Like I utilized that block button in that space. They had the audacity to privately message me because I had an opposing view and told me that I would not let them speak. Yet every response that I gave them, they could not give me a clear response in return. They were ignorant. They continued on their little high horse and wouldn't listen to anything that I had to say. Why should I entertain that?
Mm-hmm.
Block. Same with regard to my personal life too.
It's just, yeah.
People get offended by it. If I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to talk to you.
Oh my gosh. Having this conversation when it's the American elections night.
Oh man.
We won't get into politics, but let's just say
Moment of silence.
Yeah, moment of silence for thoughts and prayers, sorrows, prayers. I haven't fact checked this, but I really want to. I should. But apparently, Canada has like this whole contingency plan if America turns into a dictatorship that they have resources set up and available to intake um, political asylum seekers from America.
Yeah.
So, if you are someone in America that is within a
minority,
that one I was about to stutter the fuck.
That's okay. I got you. Deep breath.
Yes, that word. That is and is a woman and not just I say these are also individual things that you may require this service for as well. Woman, queer in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not someone that's white passing and straight, you may need to tap into that resource that is available within Canada should the worst case scenario happen. Also, political asylums easily, well, I say easily, but you can seek it as an American within, I think, UK, Norway, also Australia, New Zealand. There's some available places too. So, just FYI.
Yeah. Well, based on that, sounds like it'd be most of the Commonwealth countries. So.
I hope that it doesn't come to that, but also just doomsday prepping. You got that knowledge now.
Right? It's typical. And I don't like to get into the political side of things, but yeah, it's all eyes on them at the moment as we wait and see what happens.
If we follow America like we so commonly do,
that's a scary thing,
right?
Like, and this is just
with what's happening in Queensland.
Yeah, I can't even. I can't. It's just, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in, and for anybody out there right now, I was gonna crack a joke, but I'm not going to.
But like to see voters as well within America voting against their own interests, like this lesbian couple voting for Trump, and it's like, what do you think is going to happen?
It's just based on, look, it's based on a lot of things, and at the end of the day, it's policies, and that's what's winning or losing for the representatives of these particular parties. It's also demographics in terms of age and a whole range of other little bits and pieces. Now I'm sounding like an absolute nerd and I don't like it. So, but there is all of these little things that are at play, which are essentially turning those who you wouldn't suspect to vote in that manner turn to that and turn in that direction, which is from a spiritual perspective, with what is currently
the end is nigh.
With what is currently at play, universally speaking, and how history has the ability to repeat itself, and given that we are going into Pluto in Aquarius, it's going to be a very interesting time.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting time. If it's something that you're not familiar with, maybe you should look at what happened the last time that Pluto was in Aquarius, see the trends and patterns, and see where history has repeat itself, because it's quite a common occurrence. Quite a common occurrence. So for anyone out there who's telling me that spirituality is bullshit and that the planets don't do shit and that your star signs have nothing to do with it, fact check yourself.
Block.
Block. a block. That's about it.
Anyway, I think that we've crapped on enough.
I think so too.
It was good to get back into it.
Yep. So we'll be back at you again with another episode. Like I said, we've got some guests coming up as well, so that'll be exciting. And yeah, we hope that, for those of you who are just chiming in and things like that, or who've been along for the journey with us this whole entire time, thank you. For those that are new, welcome. And yeah, we'll keep doing this with you guys, bringing you along for the journey. And yeah. Do you want to leave us with any last words?
It's shit, shower, and then shave, all right? I don't want no shitting after the shower.
See you, bye.